Merry meet everybody, it's Poe, and you are watching Witches of the Moon. It is Friday, and this week on the channel we are talking about altars and their kind of different uses. So you can basically have an altar for anything, truly. What I'm showing you here is my Bast altar. This is my altar to honor the goddess Bast. She came to me this past summer in a very dire time of need for me. It was quite dramatic, and she came to me, and so ever since I have dedicated this space to her. And this is just a little table, little tiny table that sits in front of a window because she is a sun goddess. Actually, she represents both sun and moon, but I see her more of a sun goddess, so that's how I'm representing her here. I've got her candle here. I actually have a few goodies in the background from Joe Morris that she sent me for my cat animal totem kit. 2 black candles set in sea salt and pink Himalayan salt, as well as some herbs. Then here in the middle I have an offering bowl, and it has catnip in it. Sorry about my finger. I've got some whiskers on the altar. These are humanely harvested whiskers. I have been finding them like crazy lately, so I felt very pulled to put them on the altar for her. And then I have 2 cypress that the wonderful, beautiful Erin or Amethyst Moon sent me for Lammas last year. So I also have a couple stones, a snowflake obsidian, and then I think this is a jet black stone. I'm not totally sure what it is. It just kind of came in a group, but it's completely black. Like, there's nothing. It's just completely black. So anyway, yeah, like I said, so basically you can have an altar for anything. This one is an example of a deity altar, solely dedicated to deity honor and deity work. So I come here to pay my respects to Bastet or Bast for keeping my animals safe, for keeping me safe, because she isn't only a cat goddess, she is also a goddess of protecting females and children. So yeah, so when I'm paying my respects, honoring her, you know, that sort of thing, I come here and I light her candles and just spend time with her. I usually light some incense as well. But in addition to this type of altar, you can have, like I have my working altar that I show on this channel quite often, but not only that, it's also a seasonal altar, so I will change it out as the wheel of the year turns. So in addition to it being a working altar where I do a lot of crafting, a lot of spell work, all my rituals, all my SBAT rituals, meditation, I do numerous meditations at my working altar. I also use it as a seasonal altar. Look at how weird is that? My candle is freaking out right now. This candle, anytime I light it, it does the weirdest things. Anyway, so working altar encompasses, you know, your crafting, whether it's, you know, making special amulets, making incense, making oils, candles, that sort of thing. Or it can be a seasonal altar where you spend every Sabbat kind of changing out the different things on the altar. Also, I have 3 altars in my home. I have this one. I have my working altar, which, like I said, I've shown on this channel numerous times. And I set up, on the new year, I set up a hearth and home altar in my kitchen, to pay my respects to the goddess energies of hearth and home. So, and it's kind of a New Year's resolution that I have. So every day I'll go to that altar and I will say a little prayer, um, to Rhiannon and the goddess Rhiannon, and because she's kind of a protector, that sort of thing. So I use her as the main deity for that altar. Although it's not necessary, but I do use her. I feel like it just fits. And I'll say a little prayer to her, and then I'll light some incense, and that's my offering for every day. But yeah, you can have altars for all kinds of things. I mean, you can have an altar for creative space where you only do drawings, paintings, writing, that sort of thing. You can have an altar for creating decorations, amulets, incense blends, herbal blends, like a working altar, where you do your rituals, your esbats, your sabbats, or you can keep those separate and have an altar for sabbats only, where it's a seasonal thing. You just change it out with the seasons and do each sabbat at that particular altar. Are they necessary? Probably not. They bring a certain amount of comfort to me in my home, so that's why I have 3 of them. I guess technically I have 4 because I also have a crystal grid altar that's to the right of this one, but there's something comforting about having them around. They look nice and they serve a purpose, and I don't know, there's just something very comforting about them, having them in my home, so that's why I have so many. But as far as them being necessary for practice, not really. I mean, it's good to have a sacred space when you're doing ritual and that sort of thing, because it is important to have a clear space, something that isn't cluttered, something that isn't used up by other things. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to have an altar. It could be a desk, it could be a dresser, it could be, you know, just a little tiny table like this. I mean, it really doesn't, it doesn't matter. It can be a drawer in your dresser. It really, like I said, doesn't matter. But yeah, that's kind of my video on altars and their different uses, I guess. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have a magical weekend, and we will be talking to you next week. One more thing to add right before I leave is that we are coming up on a Q&A week, where you guys can send in your questions to us. You can address them to a particular host that you tend to like the most, or you can address the question to all of us. It doesn't matter. But we will be taking your questions, and we will be doing videos on those questions and our answers to them. So we've already gotten some pretty awesome questions, but the floor is still open for that. So if you have a chance, if you think of something you want to hear about, you want to hear us talk about, then feel free to send that in. But other than that, like I said, I hope you guys have a magical weekend, and we will be talking to you soon. Blessed be, guys.